Alright, a response video to a Mr. Kurt guy. One of these subjectivists did a response video, so yeah, we'll respond to him. So, play his video and we'll respond.
This is a response to DoNotGod's video, Fuck Yourselves. Interesting point. I sort of disagree with the notion that no matter what the perspective is, you can look down on something and always see it as something bad, objectively. Like, let's say that aliens come to visit us and they see us on an energetic level. So they just see us as maybe undifferentiated energy emerging.
Alright, so you're saying that an intelligence, right? An alien intelligence? I mean, frogs, like alien frogs, aren't going to build spaceships and fly across the galaxy, right? So you're saying an alien intelligence wouldn't be able to differentiate. They would just say, oh, that's complicated star stuff. We don't really understand matter. We don't understand physics. We don't understand chemistry. I mean, come on. Of course they would be able to identify what we are, and I think they'd be damn curious as to why we behave. I mean, behavior seems like so fundamental to an intelligence. It's like the first thing an intelligence would say is, why does a thing do what it does? Why? I mean, those are questions intelligence asks.
Dying, killing each other. They don't see the individuals. They just see the pattern, the sort of dance of energy.
Yeah, like I said, that's just a silly notion of an intelligence. It's silly. It's nonsensical. No intelligence is gonna be incapable of understanding what we are.
You're picturing, atoms as basically virtual particles popping in and out of existence. If that was their level of awareness, then all the shenanigans...
Well, how could they possibly have that level of awareness? I mean, how would it even be possible? How conceivably could they have a structure of intelligence if they existed on that level of the universe? If they were, watching protons bang into each other or something, then how the fuck could they have a sophisticated material intelligence? That doesn't make any friggin' sense.
Shenanigans down here isn't bad. It's only bad from a couple subjective viewpoints within it.
Oh, right. So you have to, it's only if you can subjectively equate or examine something that you could understand the Holocaust, or you could understand that organisms are affected by a force of repulsion and attraction, and that those two forces are fundamentally different. That they aren't like right and left. They are complete opposites, diametrically opposed to each other. As concepts, attraction and repulsion are not the variants of the same thing. They are opposites.
So, it's all depending on how you want to see it. Like, if you view...
No, it isn't. This is a logical equation. I mean, unless your premises are completely insane, like I live on the level of a photon, there's no logical way you could escape the realization, looking at the organisms scurrying about on planet Earth, that you could detect a difference between the sentient ones and the non-sentient ones, and that you could appreciate that there's something quite different happening to these sentient organisms, that they are being affected by a capacity to react to a thing called a feeling, that their intelligence is just not some mechanical digital process, that there is this analog influence of a feeling that their intelligence reacts to, and that would not be of inconsequential meaning to anything called an intelligence.
The Earth as an entire organism. All the fight.
Again, babble, nonsense, ludicrous, idiotic nonsense. Only a fucking goddamn frog stoned on LSD is going to sit there and look at the planet as a goddamn organism.
And struggle and everything could be it developing into a entity.
Right. It has no brain. It has no biological function, as we would just no organs, no tools, no attributes, no DNA mechanism. Yet you're going to sit there and say it's a living thing. What a pile of crap.
I've used this example before in some of my videos to say that just when a human being or any other animal develops, it starts with a clump of cells, and for that organism to form, a lot of them have to die off. Is that evil? Is that bad?
Oh, yeah. Be silly again, okay? Yeah. How many videos have been made on this subject? You're going to say you haven't seen any of them? People have made it quite clear we're talking about sentient organisms. Organisms capable of complex emotions and sensations of strong sensation of attraction and repulsion. We're not talking about a fucking virus or some low-scale DNA reproducing mechanism. This is sophisticated goddamn reproducing life, not unsophisticated.
It might be bad if those cells have some sort of ego.
Oh yeah, now turn the capacity to feel into an ego problem. It's not an ego problem. A 6-year-old kid, puking his guts out from chemotherapy. All right, it's not fucking to have an ego fucking problem. It's not an ego fucking problem that a kid has. The kid has a problem because his head, it feels like it's going to explode, and every sense organ in his body aches and is sending disgusting sensations to his fucking brain. And you're going to sit there and talk about fucking ego. Fuck you.
But it really is subjective, because you can look at it on a zoomed out level where it's...
Oh, you're not going to look at anything in any zoomed out fucking level. If I take a spear and slowly push it through your organs, okay? There's not going to be any subjective bullshit oh, I'm just interpreting this and blah blah. No, you're going to go through physical sensations that are going to be so intense and so distracting that you're not going to have any capacity to do any thinking about it. All you're going to be doing is trying to get this thing out of your fucking guts.
Just the earth and all the parts are interacting to create increased complexity through the illusion of separation.
The illusion of separation, another bullshit pile of crap terminology right out of the old unicorn's ass. This is not an illusion of separation. I'm quite distinctly separate from you. My brain's functioning independent of your brain. Only be through material transfers do we have some peripheral contact with each other. It's just bullshit. This isn't just one organism on planet Earth, and it's a DNA molecule. It evolves over time. Complexity is the end game in the sense that it will create more. It's easier for it to add tools than subtract tools, but they're just tools. All right, it isn't. There's nothing intending for it to be productive or responsible or decent or beautiful or anything that we would define as something of a standard or a quality, because it's a retarded force. It has no capacity to paint a Rembrandt. It's a retard. Nature is not smart.
Or you can zoom way in on it, and it's just a bunch of undifferentiated energy kind of playing and dancing around.
Yeah, right. So you're going to use words like play and dance and talk about how, there's some sort, those are subjective terms. That's subjective nonsense you're injecting into the discussion. There's no need to do that. Okay, you would talk about the matter moving in a Mr. Spock kind of way, this playing and dancing bullshit.
You can draw arbitrary lines where the energy starts and stops.
They're not arbitrary. You're going to say consciousness is an arbitrary line, that it's erroneous, that doesn't have any meaning, that it's just some sort of silly distinction? That's silly rhetoric. It's insensible, stupid, idiotic, retarded. It is unintelligent to not be capable of recognizing the distinctions.
But it's sort of made up just to make things make a little bit more sense. If you look at stuff on a quantum level, it's just a continuous spectrum.
Says you. And when have you looked at anything on a quantum level? When did you do that? When did you take the quantum photographs? I mean, bull fucking shit.
Like, this part would be a thing, and then this would be nothing, but where would you draw the line there? It's a continuous spectrum.
You say, again, more bullshit, more just unicorn right out of the old unicorn's ass. There's absolutely no evidence